Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to another Wild Rift video, and in today's video I'll be playing Varus in the Dragon Lane. And as you saw in the beginning parts of this video, I got pretty damn good at Varus, guys. So again, I have a lot of new things to teach you about Varus, and I also changed the build yet again. So there's timestamps in the description if you just want to skip to the gameplay. So let's talk about the build. So recently I made a Varus video where I showed you guys this build, where you start with a Tear of the Goddess and then you rush the Yumo's Ghostblade. Now I played more Varus, I tried different tactics, and although it's good to go for the Tear of Goddess and go for the Yumo's Ghostblade, it's just you're gonna be weak in the early game. You're gonna be really weak, because you know what I tried now? I tried starting with a longsword now, instead of starting with the mana crystal. You know, instead of starting with the sapphire crystal, I'm now actually starting with a longsword, and I'm having much more success with it. And even though you don't have as much mana, the damage is just so amazing in the early game, and I'll show you during the gameplay part how to play around it. But basically you start with a longsword and you build the mana mune. This is going to be your first item. You can always get this item before the first dragon very easily. It's like a super cheap item. So you start with the mana mune. The boots that you go for is always Ione Boots of Lucidity. You want to have as much cooldown reduction as you can. Just go for the Ione Boots of Lucidity. For the enchantment, Protobelt is really good because, of course, with your ultimate, you can get close to the enemy with Protobelt and then immediately cast your ultimate. There's a lot of things that I have to teach you guys about the ultimate as well, because I learned so much, I learned so much more about Varus, and you know, I can't wait to spill it all on you guys as well. So yeah, second item, Yumo's Ghostblade. You still go for the Yumo's Ghostblade second item. The flat armor penetration is amazing, and the movement speed is really good. It allows you to roam around very easily. Yeah, you can go for a Duskblade of Draktar second item. It will deal more damage, but Yumo's Ghostblade is like just better for the movement speed. And also, when you attack an enemy with max momentum, it gives you temporary 25% attack speed for 4 seconds, which is really good for Varus, because then you can stack up that all-important passive of the second ability, guys. Third item, you actually don't go for a lethality item, but okay, so in a normal game, you go for Cyril's Grudge, third item. But if you're snowballing really hard, what you're gonna do instead of getting a Cyril's Grudge is get a Serrated Dirk and then get a Cyril's Grudge. This is like this, see this right here? This item, this one, this, and this. This, and then after that you get the Cyril's Grudge. This would be your build if you're like 6-0 in the game. You know, if you're like super snowbally in the game, get another Serrated Dirk after your Yumo's Ghostblade, and you're gonna have even more flat armor penetration. And when you're snowballing, it's infinitely more valuable than when you're not snowballing. So as I said, in a normal Varus game where you know you're you're not super ahead, get the Cyril's Grudge as your third item, and then fourth item you get the Duskblade of Draktar. The beauty of Varus is, even though this is a lethality item, it's still totally worth to get as your fourth item, because it deals so much damage with his arrow. You know, penetrating through those squishies, it's insane. Because Varus, the thing with Varus is, he can already destroy tanks, because the passive of his second ability, the passive and the active, not only the passive, is really good against tanks. You shred their HP. So Duskblade of Draktar is going to be insanely good against squishies as well. That's why you go for flat armor penetration. And then fourth item, it's situational, you know, whatever you need. But generally, you're going to need a Guardian Angel as your last item. I mean, you could go for Maw of Marmortius, but nah, it's just not worth it. You're not going to be utilizing the passive of this very often. You can actually go for Edge of Night if you need the Edge of Night. But again, as your fifth item going for lethality, it's a bit questionable, right? So that's why the Guardian Angel is generally going to be the best choice, because it's going to give you the Guardian Angel and the armor. For the runes, you go for Ari. You know, Ari is the best because whenever you're poking in your lane with your third ability or with your first ability, you're going to proc the Ari to deal a lot of damage. Now, second rune, there's actually 2 runes that you can go for here. I go for Brutal, but Champion rune would be the better rune, because you can destroy the enemy in the early game. When you go for a weapon blade, you know, when you go for the blade of this item, and then you have Champion rune as well, you're gonna deal so much damage. I personally don't like Champion, but I'm telling you guys right now that Champion is better than Brutal. Like, I just don't like the playstyle of Champion, where you have to play super safe to maintain your damage, right? Because you get 8% bonus damage, which is huge, but you can't die. If you die, you lose half of it. So that's why I personally prefer the Brutal. Just me, okay? Third rune, Adaptive Carapace. This one's going to be really good in the early game. Yet again, as a Varus, you can destroy the enemy in the early game. Adaptive Carapace is going to make you very tanky when you get under 50% health, and it's going to give you 50 bonus health. Yet again, insane early game rune. Of course, you can go for Hunter Titan if you're against a lot of CC, but you're going to be lacking early game then. As I said, early game Varus, insanely powerful. Adaptive Carapace, going to make it even more powerful. Especially, you know, combined with the Brutal, combined with the Weapon Blade early on, you're going to be really strong. Fourth rune, you go for Mana Flow Band. First of all, because you need the mana, and secondly, because Mana Mune and Mura Mana deals bonus damage equal to your max mana. So you're essentially going to do more damage in the late game with the Mana Flow Band. So you can go for the Sweet Tooth, you can, for the early game sustain and the gold. But Mana Flow Band is literally going to buff your damage. It's going to buff your attack damage, and it's going to buff your basic attack damage, both of them. Not by a lot. It's not that much. It's basically similar to Brutal, having another Brutal, which is pretty good, but of course it's not huge or anything like that. For your spells, you go for Flash and Barrier. You need the Barrier to play it safe, especially when you have the Champion rune, you're gonna need the Barrier. So enough about the build, let's now get into the gameplay. Alright, on to the gameplay. And guys, Varus, I constantly keep evolving on Varus, and what I mean with that, I just keep getting better at this champion. There is so much about this champion to know, and yet again, in this video, I'm going to share even more stuff that I know about Varus. First, let me zip my water. What a beautiful third ability, by the way. Look at this. Boom, boom. I hit my third ability on all of them there. That's one kill. I'm probably going to die to him. I have a barrier. Look, I have a barrier. I'm not using it. I'm just waiting, and he uses a flash as well. So when you start as a Varus, this is the first mistake that I used to make. Don't take your first ability. Take your third ability. Generally, your third ability is going to be much stronger in level 1 situations. Because first of all, your third ability, it deals decent damage. Secondly, it deals damage in a pretty big area. Like as you saw there, I dealt damage to 3 enemies at the same time. Fourth of all, it slows enemy, which is really good at level 1 skirmishes. Because when you slow them, you know, they might have to flash away. And then the next reason is it's also anti-heal. So if the enemy has a Nami, or if the enemy has a heal, you know, the summoner spell heal, you reduce the heal because your third ability applies grievous wounds. So that's why instead of the first ability, you actually always want to start with the third ability. I mean, look at this already. Look at how hard I'm destroying them. Let me tell you another little disgusting thing that you can do with Varus. But before I say that, I'm doing a 15 skin giveaway. All you have to do to enter is put down a comment under this video and under some other videos. But let me tell you the disgusting thing. I think I'm gonna do it again very soon, and then I'll tell you about it. I don't just want to say it, I want to show you guys too. Ooh, the Vi is coming. Basic attack. Okay, I'm fighting though. I'm not afraid. Look, I'm not afraid. She took a turret shot like an idiot, but I'm not afraid. Look at this. Look at this. What? What was that? What the hell was that? They just got destroyed. They took turret shots and they got destroyed. Varus' second ability, when you activate it, your next arrow will execute the enemy. It will deal bonus damage equal to their missing HP, so they will never see that damage coming. But what I was talking about was, unfortunately I didn't show it, when you're against a Braum, you might think Braum counters Varus, but let me tell you otherwise. As a Varus, you know, when you're charging up the arrow, you can charge it up and stop. Don't look, you can charge it up. I shot it now, but you can stop. What's gonna happen is when you're charging it up, the Braum could use his shield. Let me see if he's gonna do it. I was trying to him, but basically you can charge it up and Braum could use his shield. Here I'm actually rooting him because the root jumps. As you can see, it jumped to the Kai'Sa right here. Yet again, another kill. I'll teach you about the ultimate a little later, not yet. First, I'll talk about this baiting thing that I'm talking about. As a Varus, you know, your first ability is not only good to shoot at the enemy, it's also good to bait the enemy. You can... Boom! Another kill. You can bait the enemy very effectively with it. You know, you can make them afraid of your arrow, but then you're not going to shoot it easily. You know, it's such a dirty little move that you can do with Varus. Let's now talk about the ultimate, however, because this is a very important ability, and there is so much about this ability to be told. You know, when I initially started playing Varus, the ultimate seemed like a simple ability, right? You just throw it at the enemy, he goes like, and then he shoots the ultimate and roots an enemy, right? That's the only thing that I really knew about him. But there's a lot of different big butts right here. You know, it's not only one butt, there is multiple butts. So let's talk about the first butt. The first butt is your ultimate jumps. Oh, wee, come on. No, his stun cancelled my first ability. When you get CC'd during your arrow, it gets cancelled, unfortunately. But first of all, your ultimate jumps to enemies. It has a range, like you can see the radius that it jumps. So in a team fight situation, when you're team fighting, it's actually okay to ult the front line. Like even though it may seem wasted, if you ult the enemy front line, it's gonna jump to the back line. Or the enemy cannot follow up. It's one of the two things. And if they don't follow up, your team is gonna kill the front line. If they do follow up, you're gonna root the back line as well. And it jumps 2 times. It not only jumps 1 time, it jumps 2 times. So just use it in a team fight on an enemy that is essential, like the Braum, for example, because they all have to stay close to the Braum, otherwise they get destroyed. Oh, let's take a look at this. Yeah, he got destroyed by the Veigar, unfortunately. The next thing is... Oh, I hit him. Look, I hit him. It jumped to the Kai'Sa as well. Look at that. It jumped to the Kai'Sa. I used my second ability. I destroyed the Braum. Boom. Boom, boom. He ignited me. I hate that so much when people just come close to you and they ignite you. Like seriously, you're gonna ignite me? But okay, your ultimate applies stacks as well. Your second ability, if you didn't know already, you know, you can stack up when you basic attack the enemy. After 3 stacks, you know, you can get 3 stacks on an enemy. When you ult an enemy, you get 3 stacks on them. And over the course of some duration, it's gonna get 3 more stacks. So when you ult the enemy, boom, it's immediately gonna get 3 stacks. And then over the course of a duration, it's gonna get 3 more stacks. I believe I got that right. So your ultimate is gonna constantly put stacks on the enemy. And when it jumps on other enemies, of course, it's gonna put stacks on those enemies as well. Right? That's the whole thing behind it. If I hit him, he's dead. I didn't hit him. If I would have hit him, he would have gotten executed because of my second ability. You want to activate your second ability when you want to execute an enemy, by the way. And the thing about the second ability execution is when you activate it, it executes even harder when you have stacks on the enemy. And if you have 3 stacks on an enemy, it deals twice the damage, twice. So for example, I believe on level 1, it executes, it deals bonus damage equal to 12% of the enemy's missing health. But if you have 3 stacks on an enemy, it's going to be 24% of their missing health. So for each stack, it's going to be 4% more. And whenever you level this ability up, it's going to be higher and higher. So when you're playing against a very tanky enemy, you actually want to upgrade your second ability second. But in this game, I took my third ability second, because they're pretty squishy, and the third ability is going to do quite a decent amount of damage. You know, it's really good to have it upgraded against squishies. So are you against tanky enemies, you take your second ability second, you know, the full upgrade. Are you against squishy enemies, you take your third ability. That's how you have to think about it. There's a boom, boom. Look at that. I'm proccing the stacks all the time. I use my second ability and pretty much execute her. There it is. See that? Like, that was probably the worst possible fight that I could have taken against a Kai'Sa, because Kai'Sa is insanely powerful in isolated situations. I still won the fight because I'm super ahead, but normally you don't really want to fight a Kai'Sa like that. Kai'Sa will destroy you like that, because yeah, her first ability will do so much damage to you. So look, in this game, as I showed you earlier on, I got a serrated dirk. See that? I got a Yumo's Ghostblade and the serrated dirk. Why? Because I'm snowballing. I'm not immediately going for the Cerulous Grudge. I am right now after the serrated dirk. But the reason that I took serrated dirk is to destroy their squishies even harder. Like Kai'Sa is gonna get absolutely smashed by me right now. Look at this. Look, look, look. Oh, never mind. I wanted to bait the Braum, but the Braum was positioning really badly. So, am I gonna do it? Yes. Look, look. This is what I mean. You see that? You see that? This is what I mean. Look at how disgusting. Now he doesn't have his shield anymore. See that? You can bait it so easily. Oh, I ult him? Oh, it's a lot of damage, but not quite enough. But that's a lot of damage. Wow. Come on! Hit him, hit him, hit him! No, he walked into the bush. Sadly, I didn't reach her. Veigar is coming. What? Hello? What? What the hell is that Veigar damage? Why is he so fat? Look at that. Oh god, he just killed me and Deluxe. Oh no, that is so bad. Like, I have a lethality build and their Veigar is getting fat. That's like the worst target that could possibly get fat in this game. The Veigar, because he can one-shot me. Against the Veigar, it's actually fine to go for Stasis Enchant, by the way. Just to block that stupid ultimate. If you block his ultimate, he will not one-shot you anymore. But it's a little hard to block. Let's take a look at Protobelt and he's dead. He's literally dead. Boom, there it is. See that? He's dead. If I ult him, and I can do it very easily with the Protobelt, he's just dead. By the way, you can combo Varus' ultimate with Flash as well. It's faster than Protobelt. It's instant actually. So yeah, keep that in mind too. Look at this. I'm going on the Kai'Sa right there because Braum had his shield up. And your third ability is actually also a really good team fight tool. You can throw it in the middle of the enemy. As I said, on top of the damage, it slows the enemy and it applies grievous wounds. Like look, boom, grievous wounds on all of them as well, on the people that are in the third ability. So keep that in mind too. Oh, how did the Vi not die there? Wow. Look at this, I'm constantly shooting my first ability. By the way, when you hit an enemy with your arrow, your first ability, and the enemy has stacks, wow. Wow. Double wow, what the hell was that? So if you apply stacks on an enemy and then shoot your arrow on the enemy, I believe it refunds 3 seconds of the cooldown. I said it wrong the last time, but it's around, I think it's 3 seconds. So the way that it works is in the early game it's not going to be a lot, but in the late game the cooldown is already like 4 or 5 seconds. In the late game you're going to get your first ability back pretty much instantly. So bonus points if you can hit an enemy with your first ability who you already have stacks on. Look at this. This is the bonus damage, by the way. It deals bonus damage equal to 12% up to 23%. And this increases. When you level up this ability, it increases. Basically, stacks means damage. Like, apply blight stacks, you know, your basic attacks, and all of your abilities detonate the blight stacks. If you can pause the video if you want right there. All of your abilities detonate the blight stacks, dealing damage equal to 3.5% per stack. And it becomes higher and higher when you level it up. That's why I said if the enemy is tanky, you do it. Let's take a look at this. I ult him, I'm dead though. But look at this ult. Boom! Look at the ult, look at the ult. You see that? I just rooted 3 enemies with it. It's insane. Like, you see how much value the ultimate of Varus provides in a team fight? Even if you ult, just use the ult on a front line of them. You saw that. It just jumped to Kai'Sa and someone else. I believe it was the Yasuo. Yeah, Kai'Sa and Yasuo. It jumped to both of them. Look at Scoundrel just playing Garen. I mean, come on. Why can't he tank a turret like that? I was playing with Excalibur and Keys, by the way. We almost won every single game, which is pretty good, you know. We did pretty well. What am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I spinning around? By the way, guys, the coaching video is gonna come very soon. This is a very popular request. You know, you guys wanted to see how I do the coaching. You know, I have coaching on Patreon. And I'm gonna make a video on it very soon, so you guys can see exactly how I do the coaching. And I believe the player that I have is currently Diamond rank. When I started coaching with him, he started at Platinum. And now I believe he's almost Diamond, either Emerald 1 or Diamond. So there is already a lot of progression. So you guys can see how I coach a player that is already Diamond right now, which is pretty high rank. So it's gonna be a pretty high level coaching too. Let's take a look at this. Your first ability is of course very nice poking, but it really isn't your main damage. Look. He's dead. Like, this is what I mean. He's just dead. You use your Protobelt and you kill him with the ultimate. They can't escape it. The only way they can escape it is with a Flash, because Flash is faster than Protobelt. Keep that in mind. But like, it's such a dirty little combo to use your Protobelt and then immediately use your ultimate. It makes it so hard to dodge. The thing about Varus' ultimate is, it's actually not that easy to hit. It looks like it's a very easy ability to hit, but the radius is very small, so you have to be on point with it. That is also where the Protobelt helps a lot. Oh god. Wow, the Janna. Look at the Janna shield. Lux shield, sorry. It's insane. I have to get my Cerulean Gorge. It's a huge power spike. Like slowing the enemy with all of your abilities is really big. Ah, he got it. Ah, that's fine. As long as we got it. Huh. Yeah, Vagar's dead. He can't do anything against the Garen. I love how Garen can just, I love how Xcando is just running the enemies down on his Garen. Like, come on, bro, it's so sick. I'm coming, and boom! Look at that damage. I shred right through his passive shield right there. You saw that. 430 damage got blocked by the passive shield, but I dealt even more damage than that. Damn. Oh, oh, oh. I got you. I got you. Look at the dude. Like, look at that. She's just that. And the beauty of Varus ult is as well, you can combine other CC with it as well. So Lux Varus is a really strong synergizing pick because after you ult, Lux can ult as well. Look. Oh, I missed. Don't miss. Yeah, we can just finish the game. I mean, GG. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's take a look at the damage and everything like that because I'm pretty sure you guys are curious about that. Let's take a look at how much damage everyone did. Yeah, I got Grandmaster after this game, by the way. He's got the MVP. Quite a lot of damage, you know? So, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye-bye.